Welcome class 6 in our e-learning class. Today we will try to proceed some more part of this chapter of our civics, that is rural livelihoods. So we will read from Shekhar. Come to page number 70. Shekhar, we have to carry this paddy to our house. My family has just finished harvesting our field. We don't own much land, only 2 acres. We manage to do all the work on our own. At times, especially during the harvest, I take the help of other small farmers and in turn help them harvest their field. The trader gave me seeds and fertilizers as a loan. To pay back this loan, I have to sell my paddy to him at a somewhat lower price than what I would get in the market. So this is the understanding between them, that the trader gave him seeds and fertilizers as loan, and as a way of paying the loan, what he had to do, he had to pay back this loan by selling his paddy to that trader at somewhat lower price. He has sent his agent to remind farmers who have taken loans that they will sell the paddy only to him. I will probably get 60 bags of paddy from my field. Some of these I will sell to settle the loan. The rest will be used in my home, but whatever I have will last only 8 months. So I need to earn some money. I work in Ramalingam's rice mill. Here I help him collect paddy from other farmers in the neighboring villages. So Ramalingam is quite rich in that village, we have come to know. We also have a hybrid cow whose milk we sell in the local milk cooperative. This way we get a little extra money for our everyday needs. Now, on being in debt. As you have read above, very often farmers like Shekhar need to borrow money to purchase basic things like seeds, fertilizers and pesticides. Often they borrow this money from money lenders. If the seeds are not of good quality or pests attack their crop, there can be a major crop failure. The crops can also be ruined if the monsoon does not bring enough rain. When this happens, farmers sometimes are unable to pay back their loans, and for the family to survive, they may even have to borrow more money. Soon the loan becomes so large that no matter what they earn, they are unable to repay. This is when we can say that they are caught in debt. So this is the way, this is some sort of that circle where they go on just getting circling only, because they are not able to get out from that. Better to term as trap, this trap of borrowing and this paying the loan. So this is some sort of this encircling figure where they go on circling and circling, moving and moving. So, and for the family to survive, they may even have to borrow more money. Soon the loan becomes so large that no matter what they earn, they are unable to repay. This is when we can say that they are caught in debt. In recent years, this has become a major cause of distress among farmers. In some areas, this has also resulted in many farmers committing suicide because they are not able to come out from this chain of this taking loan. That means they are caught or trapped in debt. They are not getting enough money. They are not earning enough money to repay all the loan and become free. Transplanted paddy growing in a few of Ramalingam's 20 acres, a result of hard labor performed by agricultural workers like Tulasi, Ramalingam and Kurathamma. In addition to land, Ramalingam's family owns a rice mill and a shop selling seeds, pesticides, etc. So very rich. For the rice mill, they use some of their own money, and they also borrow from the government bank. They buy paddy from within the village and from surrounding villages. The rice that is produced in the mill is sold to traders in nearby towns. This gives them a substantial income. Okay. Terrace farming in Nagaland. This is the village called Chizami, which is a Peak district in Nagaland. The people of the village belong to this Chakhisang community. They do terrace cultivation. This means that the land on a hill slope is made into flat plots and carved out in steps. The sides of each plot are raised in order to retain water. This allows water to stand in the field, which is best for rice cultivation. The people of Chizami have their own individual fields, but they also work collectively in each other's fields. They form groups of 6 or 8 and take an entire mountainside to clean the weeds on it. Each group gets together when their work for the day is over. This goes on for several days until the work is completed. So from this we can come to know that how the teamwork is there in Nagaland. Agricultural laborers and farmers in India. In Kalapattu village, there are agricultural laborers like Tulasi and many small farmers like Shekhar and a few big farmers like Ramalingam. In India, nearly 2 out of every 5 rural families are agricultural laborer families. All of them depend on the work they do on other people's fields to earn a living. Many of them are landless and others may own very small plots of land. So children, there is nothing to explain. You can only read it like a story because these things are very common, we know. In the case of small farmers like Shekhar, their land is barely enough to meet their needs. In India, 80% of farmers belong to this group. Only 20% of India's farmers are like Ramalingam. These large farmers cultivate most of the land in the villages. A large part of their produce is sold in the market. Many of them have started other businesses such as shops, money lending, trading, small factories, etc. So we have looked at farming in Kalapattu. Apart from farming, many people in rural areas depend upon collection from the forest, animal husbandry, dairy produce, fishing, etc. So underline these things, that these are the other ways through which these people living in rural areas, they are earning their livelihoods. For example, in some villages in central India, both farming and collection from the forest are important sources of livelihood. Collecting mahua, tendu leaves, honey to be sold to traders is an important source of additional income. Honey is very important and very costly. Similarly, selling milk to the village cooperative society or taking milk to the nearby town may be the main source of livelihood for some families. In the coastal areas, we find fishing villages. Okay, let us find out more about the lives of a fishing family by reading about Aruna and Paravilan, who live in Pudupet, a village close to Kalapattu. Aruna and Parivilan. Not far from Kalapattu is the village of Padupet. People here earn their living by fishing. Their houses are close to the sea and one finds rows of catamarans and nets lying around. That means everything will show that people here are busy with this fishing occupation. This thing you can also experience if you go to Old Digha. Okay. And at about 7 o'clock in the morning, there is a lot of activity on the beach. This is the time when the catamarans return with their catch and women gather to buy and sell fish. My husband Paravilan, my brother and my brother-in-law returned late today. I was very worried. They go to the sea together in our catamaran. They said they were caught in a storm. Very risky it is. I have kept aside some fish for the family. I will auction the rest. The money I get from the auction will be divided into 4 shares, one each for each person who went fishing, and the 4th one is for the equipment. So this is the division. So how it will be done? For each person, one portion will be there, and the 4th is for the equipment. Since we own the catamaran engine and nets, we get the share too. We have taken a loan from the bank and purchased an engine which is fixed onto the catamaran. Now they can go far into the sea so that they can get a better catch. The women who buy fish here will carry them in baskets to be sold in nearby villages. Then there are others like traders who buy for the shops in the towns. I will only finish this auction by noon. In the evening, my husband and our relatives will untangle and repair our nets. Early tomorrow morning around 2 a.m. they will set out to sea again. Every year for at least about 4 months during the monsoon, they cannot go to the sea because this is when the fish breed. During these months, we survive by borrowing from the trader. Because of this, later on, we are forced to sell the fish to that trader. When they are taking the money from them, that means they have to fulfill the wishes of the trader even, and cannot do our auction. Those lean months are the most difficult. Last year we suffered a lot because of the tsunami. So you children, you underline up to this one. Today up to this much only, and in our next class we will complete this chapter. Okay, but it is very less, we can easily complete. Only 3 paras are left. So children, let's complete. Rural livelihoods. People in rural areas earn their living in various ways. Some work on farms while others earn their living on non-farm activities. Working on farms involves operations such as preparing the land, sowing, weeding and harvesting of crops. We depend on nature for the growth of these crops. Hence, life revolves around certain seasons. People are busy during sowing and harvesting and less so at other times. Rural people in different regions of the country grow different crops. However, we do find similarities in their life situations and in the problems that they face. So you will find that rice cultivation is quite natural in a place like this where we live. That means in West Bengal. If you go to Punjab, you will find that instead of rice, wheat is grown there. In Bihar, sugarcane, it gets the prominent, or it gets the prominent seat over there, this sugarcane cultivation. And if you go to this Deccan area, you will find cotton cultivation. There is more done by people. How people are able to survive or earn will depend upon the land that they cultivate. Many depend on these lands for works as laborers. Most farmers grow crops both for their own requirements and also to sell in the market. Some have to sell to traders from whom they have borrowed money for their survival. Many families need to borrow money for their work or when no work is available. There are some families in rural areas which thrive on large acres of lands, business and other activities. However, most small farmers, agricultural laborers, fishing families, crafts persons in the villages do not find enough work to keep them employed throughout the year. This is the problem, that throughout the year these people are not getting the occupation. That means they are not getting the work which will help them to earn money for their life and for their family. So children, with this we have completed this chapter. You will read the chapter properly, you will read every line properly, because inside questions you will get from this chapter. Okay, take care of your health children. Bye.